our Nicole Zenobia Graham, Figure Pro and Olympian with Beyond the Barbell. For tuning in. Today we have a special guest, Candice Lewis Carter. You guys, she is a third champ, a 7-time Olympian, a 4-time Arnold champ. She's a loving wife and now a mommy.
Right. Yes. I mean, honestly, the list goes on with this woman. I mean, this is one of the 4, top figure athletes that I looked up to before I even stepped on a stage. So this woman is just absolutely amazing. Like, I cannot wait to talk to her. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Hi.
Hello. Okay, you guys can hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Hi.
Oh.
How
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are y'all today?
Good. I'm in shock that I'm just even on the phone call with you. I kid you not. You're the reason that I started this whole bodybuilding journey of mine. I have a photo of myself when I first started, of you on one side and on the other side, really thinking that I could look like you. Man,
Look, you're in the league of your own, girlfriend.
for real, thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you guys for doing this. I actually really love that y'all have this platform. Like years ago when certain other radio shows or talk shows, I'm like, we need like girls that compete, that are actually on this stage, then doing to have that, viewpoint for others. So this is awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm so fangirling right now.
I know. I don't think I've ever met any of you in person, have I? Yeah.
No.
I was already gone. Y'all are like, I'm watching y'all on stage.
You saw my husband and my kids at the aquarium, but I was so mad. Like, the one time I didn't have to be there.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because I noticed your daughter. I was like, well, your husband came up to me, and then I noticed your daughter and your son, so that was really cool.
That is such a...
So, my question for you, first question, why figure? Why did you choose the figure division?
So the reason why I chose figure, when I first started competing, there was no bikini or wellness. There was only women's bodybuilding, fitness, and figure was maybe about 4 or 5 years old at this point. And so I had no other choice. I was very small. I was like scrawny when I first started. I was always into track. And so I was like, okay, I met a friend that was doing figure, and I'm like, I can do that too. And so I just started competing in figure. And then bikini came out maybe like 2 or 3 years after I started, maybe 2 years. And I thought I was going to be a bikini because I had no muscle at all. And then I actually did a bikini competition. I'm like, no, this is not for me. And that's when bikini was in its infinite stage.
Right.
They were still wearing like an actual bathing suit at that time. But my legs were too big for bikini. And it was not I'm girly, but not that girly. So I love more of the structured posing for figure. And so that's why I chose figure. And I just decided to like stick with it. And then from that one show of bikini, I just was like, I'm just gonna have to gain some muscle, so this is my category. I felt comfortable doing it.
Right. You have no problem winning in that category. So we understand why you stuck with it, because you're pretty good. For real. But so in today's, bodybuilding community, the figure division is actually lost. That's why Nicole and I, wanted to do this platform for the figure division, in hopes to bringing it back live to when the Candice Lewis Carter phase was, era was there. When you were competing, figure was a big, huge deal. And every single show, local level, everything, you know, had stacked classes of figure. Now, there's two sides of why people think the figure division is lost. One is because they think that the girls are too big now. And we know that with life and with anything in general, everything always evolves. You cannot tell a football player that signed up in 2019, you have to play the same exact way from this year until you're on the team forever. If he does that, he's never going to get to the Super Bowl. Every year he's advancing. He has to get better. You know, he learns from his past and his mistakes. It's the same thing with bodybuilding. Bodybuilding evolves. The category, every category evolves, including bikini. So if people are saying the figure division is dying because the category is evolving, and, you know, figure now is what was considered women's physique back then, why is the figure division lost? Is it that, or is it just because, you know, that the pros aren't really promoting the figure division and going out around the world and, you know, advocating and being a figure pro to educate everybody and show everybody what being a pro is all about in the figure division.
Yeah. I also think there's maybe a third one to that. Figure is hard. Like, you know, you can't just get up there and like stick your butt out and, you know, look all pretty. Like there's, I mean, I don't want to say this wrong, but there's like really structure of like, this is how you win. There's no line between like, you have a back, you have a, you know, there's little things that you can pick out, and it's probably harder for a person coming up. Like, I gotta have a back, I have I gotta have abs, I gotta be conditioned, I gotta be this. You know, it's harder. It's a hard category. So I think it's tough for people that are just starting out, and it does take a while to develop a complete figure look. So I think that could be a part of it. You know, people want to, you know, anybody can jump in bikini. Like, you can train for 6 months to a year and you can maybe on the pro stage. You know, we've seen that happen.
Right.
With figure, you might take 3 or 4 or 5 years in order to turn pro.
Right.
So I think it's just the timing with that as well.
That's what we were arguing too, is that because we know our division is full of badasses. We said that we're mad scientists. It's hard because we have to create a complete package. Like you said, everything from the bottom and the top has to match. So you have to be symmetrical all the way around. Everything has to be the same. The conditioning on the top and the bottom have to match. If you can't match it and you don't have a person that's a scientist to help you match it, then you're not going to do well in the figure division. So yeah, that I actually didn't even think about that, honestly. I was just thinking about the other two because they stick out so much, and so many people, you know, like the trolls will always say it's because the division is too big, it's too big, it's too big.
Well, that's people that aren't maybe fans of bodybuilding. If you follow bodybuilding, like, it's just a given. You know, look at Arnold's, you know, when they were growing up, they're saying men bodybuilding is too big now. Like, it's just the evolution of it. Like, if you're a fan of the sport, if you compete, you will understand this. You know, no matter if you started following bodybuilding 30 years ago, like, you would understand that. So, but I think there's also a way to correct that, maybe with judging, as far as, you know, even if this person is the best one there, you shouldn't let them win if that's not what figure is. And I think that could maybe keep the category in like a separate box, because you can tell the difference between bikini to wellness to fitness. Obvious fitness is different. They have the routines, and physique and women's bodybuilding. I think figure, if you go up there and throw a physique pose, you can step on the physique stage at the same show, you know, but you can't do that with bikini. You can't be figure and just go to bikini in the same show. But figure, I feel like the lines can be kind of blurred. So I think maybe with judging, just telling people like, hey, even if you're the best one there today, we're not going to pick you because it's making the category become too blurred, and people are maybe competing and getting upset and not choosing to compete in figure because they're like, you know, this person's winning, I look just like this person, why am I not winning, and things like that. Let me just do bikini because it's easy to kind of know even though it cannot be, like, I think they all look good, but you know what I'm saying? So it can be fixed, but it might take a while.
Right. It can be hard because that if the judging is not the same, or it doesn't matter what state you're in, if the judging is not a flat line, then you're right. The division can be blurred, because then it's like, what am I supposed to come in? Am I supposed to look like this person that you're awarding or this person that you're awarding? Do you want me to have striated glutes or not striated glutes? Do you want me to have shoulder calves or no shoulder calves? So yeah, I didn't even think, this is why we needed this. And I wanted the
Oh,
wisdom, girl.
absolutely. I mean, I also think too, another, thing to, piggyback on with that, yes, figure is, it's a harder division, yes, because you do have to have the balance everywhere. But I think a lot of the issue too in today's society is that everybody wants to get to the finish line now,
Yeah.
and they're not willing to take the journey. Like in our sport, it's about longevity. It should
That part, okay.
And some of us, yeah, have been, blessed enough or really great genetics or whatever to be where we are in a faster amount of time. But not everybody is like that. And it's okay to take your time. And I think that's where a lot of our issues are, is that everybody is just rushing to get there.
Yeah, I competed for 12 damn years, okay?
That's insane. Oh my.
12 years, okay? So when figure and it's getting popular around the world, like I feel like bodybuilding has blew up in the last probably 6 years. Like everyone at the gym is a bodybuilding. Like before, when I first started, like you maybe saw no one that you kind of were in the gym, like, okay, maybe they compete. Now you can go to a local, like say Lifetime, which is like a pretty lifestyle kind of gym. It's not hardcore, but you'll see 10 to 15 people in there, like, oh, I think they probably compete. They compete. Like you can point them out. So it's grown a lot in that sense. But yeah. I forgot I was gonna say something else, but
Yeah, trust me. It's the mom brain that happens to me a lot, and prep brain. You just forget, and it's like squirrel. But what you were saying, to piggyback back off of that too, is that that is so true. So many people in our sport too will jump from coach to coach to coach to coach, thinking that, oh, I'm going to go with Nicole's coach because she's winning, or I'm going to go with Candice's coach because she's winning, and I need to have a winning coach. No, bro, give your coach some time to learn who you are and learn your body and see how your body responds. You have to be with a coach that you trust in order to do well in this sport, because we all three know that it's literally nothing but mental.
Yeah, you're right. And I do remember I was going to say something the same. Like, people aren't, like Nicole said, you're not taking your time. Like, it took me, like, probably it's different now. Like, so I was in a privileged kind of era where I could take my time to grow and develop, from turning pro to like doing my pro debut to being at the Olympia. Like the category was very slow.
Right.
Like, you see girls ready for Olympia stage when they turn pro. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, I'm amazed at athletes. People are like, you're so great. I'm like, hell, like, y'all will kick my ass right now, okay? Like, I don't want to see y'all no day, because you guys, I mean, the women now are just like, it's amazing. So I do love how the sport has grown, and that it is fast. People are getting better results. There's better training methods. There's better, people know you have to work hard no matter what. So I think it's hard for someone starting out, knowing that they have to take time and knowing that some people are not taking their time. So it could be a lot of peer pressure in order to get where you want to be, knowing that, I'm seeing the same girl turn pro with me, and she's at the Olympia this next show, but I've been pro for 5 years and I haven't stepped on the stage. It could be a hurt to your ego, like, I know me, I'm very competitive. Like, if I get to Olympia once, I better place, okay, if I'm placing third this Olympia, my next one, I better be second or first. That was always my mentality, So it's hard to take your time as an athlete. But it's something you may need to do. And
Right, especially with our sport, because we have to have that time to develop. It's not like you're not going to wake up with the results, because trust me, we all want the results yesterday. We all want to be Miss Olympia yesterday, but it doesn't work that way. The more time and the more consistent you are with your plan and being with your coach and everything, the more successful you'll be. So the quicker you learn that with following the plan and just doing everything, like Candice said, there is no black and white with figure. I mean, it is only black and white with figure. There's no rainbow colors. It's just you do this and that's it.
yeah.
I agree. What else was I gonna say? So obviously we know why we've put this platform together, and again, you know, giving more figure athletes, fans, a place to shine and get to know who the athletes are, both amateur, both new pros, and our seasoned pros. But you know, in the Candice Lewis, you know, Carter day, you know, as far as promoting the division, like, how was it then? Because I feel like, you know, I felt like I saw you everywhere. You were constantly promoting all the time. And I feel like with us right now as pros being the leaders of the division, we really don't do very much to promote the division. So how is it then?
Yeah, you're correct. The pros, it was kind of an unspoken like thing that you did. You supported your local shows where you lived. You held like free posing seminars. You know, a lot of people are charging these days. You went to nationals. You went to the Olympia. You know, you were out there. You loved this sport. You know, you wanted to be involved, you wanted to learn, you wanted to actually be at a show so you can see the top pros with your own eyes. It's so different, you know, seeing someone online and pictures, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that at least that was my mentality. Like, I was so excited to go to the Arnold. I hadn't even competed at one show yet. Well, actually I did one show, but then I was like, I'm going to the Arnold. Like, this is where I want to see the women, you know. I think that was my first year of competing. So I'm not sure if, you know, the pros do that. Like, I'm not sure if you will go to the Arnold if you aren't competing there. You know, it can be expensive. You know, people have lives, they have families to take care of. So this sport is unbelievably very expensive. There was times where I'm like, I don't know if I can compete because it's too expensive, you know. So I get that side of the athlete's point of view. It could be expensive, or they don't have time, or they're juggling, you know, being a wife, you know, being a husband, being a mom. Maybe they have an important job. I have people that have serious jobs competing that I know that they
Right.
have secret, you know, just because of the lifestyle it is. So that could be frustrating. But I think maybe utilizing Instagram more. When I started there, I feel like I'm when I started, but I don't know. There wasn't really Instagram. It was getting started. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So maybe we didn't have that privilege and to see people online, and felt like I didn't have to go to the Arnold or the Olympia or the USA's because I can watch it from my phone. So that maybe that's a part of it as well, is that you can see it from just your phone. You don't have to be there live and to be everywhere.
Getting more lazy. America's getting more and more lazy. We have to get out of that. But you were on almost every single
Yamamoto this way. I was like, man, he's everywhere.
Cute.
those shoots, all of it. How were you able to, you know, get yourself connected with those companies? Was it because of your bodybuilding success, or, you know, did you apply to these some type of way? Because right now, you know, in our bodybuilding fitness days, if you're not popular on Instagram, it's almost impossible for you to get a sponsorship. You have to be able to bring something to the table with a following, you know, and to ensure that these people are going to pay to even get involved with any type of company. So how was it that you were able to, and even now you're still, you know, doing your thing outside of bodybuilding? How are you able to keep all of this, and how did you start it all?
I think starting it, because there was a time where like I said, I didn't know if I was going to be able to continue to compete because it's very expensive. You know, I was a single person, just right out of college. So In the beginning, I was like, okay, what do I have to do in order to make this affordable to do something that I love, you know? So I would go to I lived in Arizona, so I would drive up to the Olympia every year or the USA. I made these little business cards, like, hi, and talk to people at the booth. And like, I didn't get no feedback. Nobody, like, they're probably like, what's this girl doing? Like, you know, I didn't know, but that's what I thought I had to do. But nothing ever came of that. But I did get to talk to people, some of the head company people. So they probably knew my face. And
Right.
3 or 4 years later, they're like, oh, she's an Olympian. Like, we have a rapport with her. So we'll sponsor her. I think one of my first sponsorship was with Metrex, and they took me on a Colombian tour, like went to 5 different little countries there. So I think it's building rapport with companies. You may not get something that moment, but maybe 4 or 5 years down the road. Same with Yomamoto. I was with Sand Nutrition before them. And just being the person I am, I really do love the sport. I'm a genuine person.
Right.
So I talked with one of the head guys at Yomamoto. His girlfriend was a fan of mine. And he's like, can I take a picture? And I was like literally walking to my room. Most people are like, I'm tired, like, no, thank you, or just blow someone off. You never know who you're going to talk with. That's the year I got dropped with Sand and got 3 times as much money with this new company just by being a genuine person. So you never know who can sponsor you. You never know who's watching you, you know? So you got to be a hustler in this sport. You got to hustle for what you want. And I knew in order to compete, I had to do that because I make a lot of money. Like, I was an esthetician, you know, I was working part-time being an esthetician and then trying to hustle and win shows in order to support my lifestyle. So it's building rapport, doing as much as you can, doing things for free, because maybe one day you'll be paid for it. You know, I did a lot of free stuff, you know, and then after a while I'm like, you got to pay me to do this, you know, and that's how it was. You definitely got to demand, though. A lot of companies try to take advantage and make you feel like you're one of a million other people, so they'll get someone else. But you have to prove to them, like, no, I am Candice Carter, and this is what I bring to the table. You know, no one's like me. You really have to have that type of attitude. If not, they'll be like, okay, we'll just get Susie Q over here for supplements only. I would not ever take a just supplement deal. Like, you need to pay me cash money because you get those supplements for a penny. You know, you're not giving me anything. So you really have to know your worth. First of all, you have to know your worth. And if they say no,
That's okay.
that's okay. You know, somebody will say yes, you know, so that's just how.
So first you were just planting your seed pretty much, just peekabooing everybody, you know, looking at the companies. Y'all remember, take my business card.
And I do want to say I have to give a lot of that praise to my husband. He is the one, okay? He's the one. He networks a lot for me. He was my manager for most of it. He still is. He does contracts for me now. We're a team, and he knew that I love this so much that I wanted to do it. So having someone on your side that knows the sport and knows like what you're worth, and who better else to do that but a significant other or a parent or something. A lot of bodybuilders have their sisters, like Rolly, his sister does it, you know, someone's mom. I know Brandon Curry, his wife does a lot of his stuff. So you have to have that person that's going to go get it for you because they know your worth.
Right. You know, I'm so glad that you said what you said, you know, when it came to hustling and people helping you to get that, because you know your worth and they know your worth. Again, as I said earlier, people are so gung-ho, oh, I just turned pro, or I'm a huge influencer, this, that, and the third, and they think that everything's going to be handed to them. And no, it doesn't work that way. A closed mouth doesn't get fed, and you have to go out there and get it yourself.
Yeah, period. Yeah. Yep, you're right.
Absolutely. Thank you, husband, for...
Exactly. Thank you, boo.
You know, you inspire so many women. You really do. So if he wasn't helping you through along the way, you wouldn't have been able to touch us as competitors. So
Yeah, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't because of him. Even the fact that just being able to tell me to keep going, you know, when I wasn't winning, like, keep going, you got this, you know, even when I doubted myself, you know. I always tell this story, like, one day for the Olympia, the Arnold I was training for, and I was just so burnt out. You know how you get just tired, and you're like, I don't got it. Like, I don't even want it. You know what I'm saying? He's like dragging me on the floor, like, get your cardio done. There were so many times where we would drive to the gym and he's like coaching me into like, you got this, let's go to the gym. I just sit in the car like, no, I don't, you know. So you need some strong people with you, for real.
Hey, it's the village. I mean, I know they say it's a selfish sport and an individual sport. Yeah, when you're on the stage, but it really does take a village. Like,
yeah.
You need a support system for sure.
So there's a lot of people in our industry too that deprive themselves, you know, not obviously from the food, but from their friends, their family, all of that. And me, I'm a mom. I have 2 kids. You're a mom now, and I'm on prep.
I got kids.
Fur babies.
My fur babies.
Yes, they are kids.
So you know, we have to, you know, do for our children and not deprive them just because we're depriving ourselves from our choice. I always preach that you have to just, you know, get better at the hard times and bring your food with you. You shouldn't be stopping yourself from going to go hang out with your friends or, you know, going to take your children wherever you want to take them because of your choice to compete. I feel like that's the part that makes it selfish because you're making your family now sacrifice when it should only be you. It doesn't have to be a selfish sport. You can have your family there to support you with them, but you have to be mentally strong. So how do you think, or what do you think would be a solution to those people that, you know, keep themselves from the outside world and they go all in on one show, and then because they cut themselves off completely, they only do one show and they never compete again?
Yeah, it's hard for now. I can see kind of talk on that, but I wasn't that way, unfortunately. I was one of those all in type of people, like, no, I can't go to your wedding. What? You know, like, no, it's my birthday, or my husband, like, it's our anniversary. Okay, what? No, it's like, you know, I wasn't that way, unfortunately, and I regret it so much because I lost a lot of friends doing it. You know, I'm sure my husband understands the sport. You know, him and Phil Heath went to college together. You know, he knew the sport before meeting me, you know, so I was privileged in that way because he understood. He didn't give me, you know, slack on like, okay, it's our wedding, like, not our wedding, obviously enjoy our wedding, but like anniversary, like, let's go to dinner, let's just have this, like, let's go work out first. Like, he made it easy for me not to feel that guilt in a sense, because I only had him and like my best friend. Everyone else was kind of gone at this point. Yeah, I had my family and my sisters, but they understood, like, she's doing her thing, like, let's leave her alone, you know. So I didn't have balance at all. Like, I was like, this is what I want to do, I'm all in. So I regret because I probably missed a lot of things, and that's why right now I will never compete again, because I don't know if I will trust myself to have balance. Right. And I wouldn't do that to my son. You know, I wouldn't want to continue to do that for my husband. There was a time where I realized, like, it's not about you, Candice. Like, it's not about you. Like, you have a husband, you know, like, he needs his needs as far as just, you know, it's not about the gym every Saturday or at night. He would be with me 3 o'clock in the morning going to the gym. And he loves working out. You know, he's an athlete himself. He played pro basketball for a while. So he gets the competitiveness that I had, and he also gets the sacrifice that you also need to do, which I think a lot of people don't have that. And it's kind of sad because, right, like you said, it's not their fault. It shouldn't be a selfish sport. So yeah, I can't say much on that, but I see people that do it really well. I have a friend here, Ruby Nicholson. She's a pro now, and she does it so well. I'm like, how do you do that? Like, I think I would enjoy a lot of it, especially my last 2 years, I was battling not competing anymore, and it was very difficult for me to even train. Like I said, my husband was dragging me on the floor, like, come on, you know, not like crazy drag, like,
Right. Yeah.
like, come on. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But I see her do it. I'm like, and she has kids and a husband, and she's involved with stuff, and I just am amazed, like, how, you know?
You know, if you could go back and change how you dealt with that, you know, in this situation, what's something that you would do to make yourself be more balanced so that way you wouldn't push your friends and your family away?
I think I would, because I'm an all-in type person, just my personality, you know, like if I like a certain bag of chips, like I'm gonna buy like 10 of them and eat them
Yeah.
all day, you know. That's how I am, an all-in type person. So what I would do honestly is try to say, like, maybe leave a Sunday, you know, say Sunday, like maybe go to the movies with my husband. You know, I didn't live in the same state as my family when I got deep into competing. So that actually helped me as well, because they were always away. It was just me and my husband in Colorado when we lived there. So I think that helped me a lot, because I didn't have any friends. I was new to Colorado. I was just competing, you know. So I think I would take at least a day. But it's hard to say when you have kids, you know? Like now looking at my baby Brew, like I don't want to just leave one day for him, you know what I'm saying? Like, so do I need to like train at night? But you're tired at night. So I think there's I don't know, how do you do it? Like, I think there's a bigger sacrifice. Even when I was like a fur mom, I felt bad because my dog Phoenix was like at home, or we would leave him and go to trips, go to Spain, go, you know, he was somewhere else, you know. So I don't know how I would handle it different, but I think it just depends on your situation. Like if you have kids, obviously it's probably more difficult. If you just have a husband, you can tell him like chill, you know. So yeah, I don't know how I would do it different, but I don't think I would, because it got me to the point where I needed to be, you know.
Right. All that success, it was worth it, and I'm sure everybody that isn't in the picture or was in the picture understands why, because it takes so much just to develop that body. And like you said, back then when I was following you, you went from a person that had rock hard abs to off season no abs at all. You know, so you are definitely an extremist, and it shows. And the success is definitely awesome. And for you to just be able to tell your story and everything, for everybody to be inspired and continue to go to grow. But how old is your son right now?
He's 16 months. Yeah, that's my joy. It's so, because I struggled with getting pregnant. I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, so it's a woman's hormonal disease. It's considered a disease now. About 2 years ago, it wasn't considered, and I had the opportunity to work with PCOS Challenge. It's an advocacy group to talk with Congress and say, hey, this is number one cause of infertility. It's heart disease, diabetes, obesity. There's a lot of things, depression. There's such a big deal. Like, this needs to be a disease. And we fought for, well, they've been fighting forever. I was just on board the last 3 years, and it's now considered a disease, and you'll see it in the CDC guides. And it's just amazing that we're able to do that. So being able to have a son, and like I said, the last 2 years, I was like, I want a child. You know, I already knew I was struggling to have a child, and maybe it wasn't possible for me. So that's why I wanted to stop competing. I was like, I got to give my body a chance. I got to, you know, balance my hormones. I have to do whatever I can, because I desperately, I really wanted kids. I have 9 siblings, so I love the family dynamic. So those last 2 years were really hard for me to just stay focused and compete. And that's when I was really like top of my game, like barely winning the Arnold, you know. Really my physique, like I feel like in those last 2 years just peaked in a way where like, wow, people were like, wow, you know. But before then I was just good. But it was like those last 2 years, I feel like I was at the top, and then I'm done, you know.
How long did it take you trying with your son?
How long?
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I stepped off that, I think I had an interview at the Olympia, and I'm like, I'm about to practice having a baby tonight. You know, so yeah, as soon as we stepped off stage after 2018, we started trying. It was probably one of my darkest days of just trying to fight my body. Like, competing and fighting your body to get in shape was nowhere compared to doing this, because I knew my body, I felt so much like my body wasn't capable of this. You know, it was very hard for me to stay positive. And I get a little bit emotional.
Of course.
Sorry. Because it was very hard. It was very hard. So.
Yes.
But you're blessed, so you were definitely blessed.
Yeah, it was so hard. But yeah, it's that was very hard. There was times where the Athleticon was, if you guys heard about that, The Rock putting on, and I was like, I'm gonna compete because it's hard to try to have this baby. I might as well. And another thing is, like, we were probably gonna get ready for IVF, and I was like, well, if I go and win the show, like, I can afford it, you know, because we were saving at that point. So yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, seriously. Thank you for sharing that, because we definitely had, no idea. I knew about the condition, but, I didn't know the magnitude of it. So, I mean, honestly, I'm blown away right now. I mean, wow.
I remember seeing you post about it too, and I think you told a little bit about it whenever you posted your announcement, sharing that you were about to have him with announcement. It was super cute, but that's amazing. Like, I know that was tough, and then it's like you're in a hiatus of, should you go back to competing because if this is not happening for you, or do you keep trying because this is what your heart desires and this is what you ultimately want, a family? And look
I never won the Olympia, so that was hard for me to walk away accomplishing everything I wanted to accomplish, but not winning #1 and losing by 1 damn point. What the fuck? Like, what's 1 point? Like, I'm still upset. But this is what it is. I won still, but yeah.
Good, man. That is so awesome.
I mean, so your son now, okay, so he's 16 months. I mean, he's got probably the craziest genetics in the world. I mean, you being an athlete, I think you were track star as well, husband, D1 athlete, pro athlete. So has he dabbled into any sports yet?
Yes. Like, I could talk about him all day. So he loved soccer. Like, at 5 months old, he was like kicking the water bottle to his hand. And then he was like, the day he started walking, he was literally kicking a ball. Like, I'm going to post this video tomorrow, but he is like, okay, so we know someone that owns like a soccer academy. He used to play for, I forget the name, team. But anyways, he owns this, and we're like, yeah, we're going to start him in soccer. Like, he just picked it up really easily. Like, he watches it, and he just like is mesmerized by it. And they're like, yeah, he can, they can start at, 18 months to 2 years old. And then he saw him at 13 months kicking a ball. Like, he was like, oh, he can start now. So we're going to start him in soccer. He's in swim also. We'll stop swim for a while, but yeah, we'll start him in soccer. He's just, it's amazing. Like, he kicks the ball, he grunts when he kicks. He's like, it's so crazy. So yeah.
Competitive like you both.
It's going to be, and I'm going to be that crazy soccer mom, like, So I'm excited. I get a lot of my passion, like, although I didn't compete at, win the Olympia, like, my son, I think he'll make up for, me not winning that. One day he'll go on and be a star and stuff.
Stop acting like you didn't win a lot of other things. Can you please tell us all of the titles that you do have?
See, you're right. I like the way you did that. You're right. I need to change that mindset. Like, I did win a lot of other things. But, if there's one thing that you wanted to get and you never got it, you've been so close, you can't stop thinking about it. It's like a revenge. I'm that type of person. Like, you cut me, I want to cut you back. So.
Oh, also look, you weren't Miss Olympia, but you're still making a huge freaking impact in the entire bodybuilding community, and your name is never going to be lost, regardless of if you're Miss Olympia or not.
Right.
So
Iconic.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, thank you.
Legacy. What is a tip, or words of wisdom, any advice that you can give our viewers that are watching, even us, just to help us whenever we're getting on track with prep and we're not all in, or say we're not all in type of people? What's something that we can do to help us stay focused on the overall goal? Because when you saw your goal, you were at your goal and that nothing else was getting in your way of that. How were you mentally able to stay focused?
I'm a goal setter, so I'll write things down and be like, this is what I want to do. Like when I was first starting out, I probably hadn't even turned pro yet, but I wrote a list, and it's so crazy. I hid it in this little plant thing, and I found it when we moved to Texas. I was like, oh my gosh. But anyway, yeah, so I will write your goals out. Look at them somewhere that is visible. Put it on your mirror or something. I think visual.
Yeah.
We know.
Right.
Visual something. Yeah. It's very important because you see it, even with my son, he watches soccer, like he's visualizing, there's the word, visualizing it. It's in his mind, it's something that he's probably gonna just grow and do. Same with like the greats of all sports, Tiger Woods or Serena Williams. All these people start at such a young age, so it's embedded in them. So you have to you have to study the sport, watch shows, see who is similar in body types with you and be like, okay, she's doing the New York Pro, like I'm about the New York Pro because our body types are similar. I know she's probably going to go in and win, but if she wins, that means I'm going to be second. That was a little bit of my strategy when I first started out. Like, okay, I look similar to her, or maybe I feel like I have a better physique than her, but I know she's a prime winner. So let me go to that show, because if she's up there, they can't overlook me,
Right.
More than likely they won't. Like, you can't, like, if it's so similar, So do that, study the sport. I would say don't be like me and take time for your family. Don't compete as often as I did. I think I did like 10 shows in a 1 year period. Like I was like, one, I was doing it for money because I was just being an esthetician part-time, but I wanted to get better. And that's not how you get better, doing that many shows. Like, I wish someone would have told me, like, sit my ass down, like, just wait, and I don't think I would have burnt out so fast. Well, I guess it wasn't so fast, but I felt burnt out a lot. So in my off season, when it was off season, like, it's like, as soon as I step on the stage, I don't want to go to the gym for like 2 weeks. Don't talk to me, my coach. So don't talk about nothing.
Sure.
That's how I was. I was like this all the time, and that worked for me. So,
man, thank you so much.
Yes.
Everything is inspiring.
I was gonna ask the question, but she done already answered it for us. I mean, are you gonna come back? Because you'd still kill it.
Yeah, literally.
I would probably kill myself trying to be what I was. My body has changed. Obviously, you guys know, if you don't compete 4 or 5 years, like, you can probably work hard. I feel like I'm still young and youthful, and I still probably could have that same motivation, maybe. I don't know. Like, life is different. But no, for a while, I thought I was going to, like, a little bit me wanted to be an inspiration to women that just gave birth, like how you were. Like, man, that's amazing. Like, what do you compete like 9 months later or something?
Yeah, 6 months.
6 months. Like, I'm like, wow. Like, I was just like, what? It was like mind blowing. I was like, wow, the woman's body is so damn amazing. Like, we should be worshipped. Like, yeah. I was just amazed by that. But no, just having my son. We're actually trying to conceive again now.
Okay.
Baby number 2.
Hey.
You know, hopefully, I think it would definitely happen. I feel more excited about, you know, trying this time around because I know my body's capable of conceiving
Right.
naturally. Or if I have to take a fertility meds again, I will do that. But yeah, the stage is, I'm just a fan now.
Hey, that's okay. You're always going to be an icon to us. And I
Thank
mean, seriously, just inspirational between what you've gone through, you know, motherhood, the fact that you're extremely successful off the stage. You know, you've gone into mainstream fitness, you know, so I mean, that's already an accomplishment in itself.
you. Yeah, and what I wanted to say also is even for you ladies or people that are watching, like um this is where competing isn't everything. You know what I'm saying? Like you can still have success off of the stage. And that was a little bit of my mindset as well. I wanted to make bodybuilding work for my lifestyle forever. So even if I wasn't on stage, I still want to be um, a fitness influence. I wanted to, you know, once I became a mother, I want to influence fitness motherhood. I wanted other sponsors. Like now, my son, he has sponsorship deals. You know, like his school is expensive, so like you got to work, baby. You know,
Kick
so
that.
you can still do those things. You don't have to be focused on just bodybuilding supplements or bodybuilding workouts. There's a whole mainstream media out there and people are doing it. You can see, I can't think of there's tons of famous fitness influencers that's never even stepped on a stage that are getting paid so much money just for this lifestyle. So why can't you do it? You know, so you have to balance it because, you know, mainstream maybe doesn't want you to look as hard year round. So you have to balance it. And that was a little bit of part of my like being softer in my off season, you know, just because a lot of people don't understand the way we have to look in mainstream. So you just have to take a point. Like if you're say you feel like you only have 3 or 4 years competing, like start working now. So when you're done competing, you're still able to generate an income. If this is what you want to do, like me, I told my husband before we got married, like, okay, once I stop my job, like I don't want to, like I want to be able to personal train. I wanted to not have to go into a 9 to 5 ever. Like I
Right.
want this to be forever, or if I'm doing mom stuff or whatever it is. So you have to kind of work a few years before those you see the benefits like I was doing before I stopped competing.
Right, because bodybuilding is, you know, it doesn't set you up for the after, and you can only compete for so many amount of years. So if you want to continue, like you're saying, and being in the fitness industry outside of bodybuilding, you absolutely have to build something for yourself while you're in the industry,
Yes,
or
yes.
carry on after you're able to step off the stage. So I'm glad you're helping us, you know, help everybody see all of these very important, you know, topics and points and everything, because we don't get to talk about this with, you know, legends like yourself every single day. We don't hear the things that we're supposed to hear. You know, we as bodybuilders and competitors actually keep things from each other, and
Yeah.
we always hide each other. You know, we don't post as much as you would want us to show off, you know, or to inspire each other. So it's a totally different industry as it was whenever you were in there. So we truly appreciate you for still being motivational, still inspiring, you know, still leading by example, being a mother, a wife, you know, still a champ as you are. We appreciate it, and we can't say thank you enough for being on this interview with us. Seriously.
Thank you. So,
Yeah, thank you guys, and keep going whenever you want to have me on so I can run my mouth again because I never get to talk body much anymore. So I'm just like, I need to say this and I say that. So whenever you guys need the support, but I keep going. You know, I think the following is going to grow and grow. Who knows? Y'all gonna have your own podcast on iHeartRadio. Like, reach out to them right now. Like, y'all have a following. So just because you're in the infinite stage don't mean that you can't start reaching out to some of those bigger platform. And you guys are mothers, you know, you are you may not be a mother yet or whatever, but you still have a story to tell. You're
right.
not a bodybuilder, you're so much more, you know. There's so many topics that you can branch into, but also keeping fitness on the forefront and sharing that with other people. So I'm gonna put that in the air. Y'all gonna be on iHeartRadio. Okay.
And we're starting our posing tour next year in 2023. So we might be coming to Katie Species Gym. If so, we would love for you to, make us a little tiny appearance and give a little shout out to our figure competitors, because we need to grow the local level for the figure division, definitely, so that figure can just be mainstream again and, talked about and promoted like it was when you were hot. We need that vision now. So thank you so much.
You guys are doing the Lord's work for real, because I think a lot of figure competitors feel the same way. So I appreciate you guys for doing that. It was like very hard for me to see that it wasn't in the Arnold, and I think it's just maybe an eye opener that figure competitors need to do more like you guys are doing. Just really saying how wonderful it is to be, a figure competitor, with all the other divisions coming here. We were the only ones holding it down for a while before bikini and wellness came. Bodybuilding went away for a little bit, but it's back now, so keep at it, and whatever y'all need, I'll be there to support.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tuning in. Y'all already know me and Nicole are going to be posting stuff. DM us if y'all have any questions, or if y'all want us to repost your things, tag us, and we will do so. Thank y'all again. Thank you so much, Candice, and we will see you soon.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.